And a big guy at 250, Craig McEwen, a former Redskin at H-back. Anthony Miller, there's a legitimate star in the Charger offense. Wayne Walker, a rookie. He was a Texas Tech receiver with Tolliver. Got plenty of speed. Arthur Cox, the tight end. And when they go to their pass set, Darren Nelson, the former Viking, comes in, along with Holland, the man who just returned the kickoff. First down, 22. Big Arthur Cox, the tight end in motion, and Butts is stuffed. 2-yard loss. Fred Stokes, a former Ram, leading the charge, number 60. The defense for the Washington Redskins: Mann, Charles Mann, Tracy Rocker, rookie from Auburn, Darrell Grant, and Stokes, the man who just spearheaded that charge. Caldwell Olkowitz playing in his final home game. The veteran from Maryland, Wilbur Marshall, the ex-Bear, Mayhew and Johnson, two little cornerbacks, Vaughn and Bowles at safety. And again, the injuries that have hit this Washington team during the year inordinately high, taking key players on both sides of the ball, and yet Joe Gibbs keeps him on the winning side. And again, Butts the handoff, and it's as if the Redskins know what's coming. Butts can't get a step before he hits 3 Redskin tacklers, and again, Fred Stokes charging in from his defensive end position. Pass defense comes in as you see the extra wide receivers for the Chargers. Mann, Stensrud, Grant, and Stokes now will be the down 4. Caldwell and Coleman, the linebackers. Mayhew, Johnson, Vaughn, Bowles, and Davis, the deep backs.
Well, so far, Dick, the defensive line of the Redskins is dominating. They're beating San Diego to the punch. That's been San Diego's problem all year.
Anthony Allen, the man in motion. Tolliver's first throw, and he goes deep. And the receiver was held, and a flag goes down. And that may have saved a touchdown. Anthony Miller, who is a long bomb threat, was breaking clear, and Wayne Davis appeared to grab him.
Miller wanted to run an out-and-up pass pattern. Davis felt it and just grabbed him. He knew he had lost him. And Tolliver just didn't quite hold the ball long enough. They had a big blitz inside. The out-and-up pattern could have been a touchdown.
Howard Rowe.
Illegal contact, number 26, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's a hook and go straight down the field, and there's the hold right there, because obviously a big problem was developing. The defender coming forward, the receiver going by him. So that could have been a big play. Most often that pattern is tough to complete because the receiver's not running quite as fast as a quarterback expects, and also, of course, the defender has to get some contact to save himself.
So they get the 5 yards back. They lost on the 2 running plays, but also the first down automatically. First down at the 22. Fake to Butts. Tolliver, he wings it long for Miller, and he's got it at the Redskin 28-yard line.
Well, before the game, we were told that this is the kind of thing that would be utilized this week, because the safeties of the Redskins are going to come forward. This last play, they rotated their safeties, putting the strong safety deep, and now we had a pure post pattern with nobody inside to help. There's our safety inside, nobody there to help, so Vaughn isn't deep enough. There's the completion. Very well executed. And this is going to take that kind of thing by the Chargers. They're going to have to come up with big plays like this, and they don't, and I'm sure can't expect to run like they did on the first 2 plays.
Well, Miller has become a big play man out of Tennessee. That's his 58th catch. He has 8 touchdowns to lead the Charger receivers. First down from the 29. Tolliver out of the backfield goes to McEwen, and he's hit immediately. Incomplete is the call. No fumble. Martin Mayhew, number 35, one of those 5'8" bookends at cornerback for the Redskins. With that catch by Miller, he went over the 1,000-yard mark, 1,003, and we'll be talking in big numbers, because all 3 receivers for the Redskins, Clark, Sanders, and Monk, conceivably could gain 1,000 yards in the year. That's been done only twice, and the Chargers claim both. Butts has a big hole up the middle, and the 250-pound fullback is down to the 25-yard line. Played at Florida State with Sammy Smith, known more for special teams and blocking. Well, just to check on history and put the 1,000 yards in perspective, in '80, Charlie Joyner, Kellen Winslow, and John Jefferson all gained 1,000 yards. In '81, they did it again, but Chandler got some of his yards at New Orleans before he was traded to San Diego. And the Redskins, when they get the ball, Clark, Monk, and Sanders, they're all flirting with 1,000. Darren Nelson comes in, number 20. There's Joyner.
Nelson's the key in third down. Most likely he releases outside and runs into the flat and tries to get the first down.
Third down and 6. And Tolliver goes for it all to Miller, and it's a touchdown. Anthony Miller wide open as he beats Wayne Davis, and the Chargers strike on the rookie arm of Tolliver and the clever patterns and all-out speed of Anthony Miller. Billy Joe Tolliver, his second NFL touchdown, and now Chris Parr tries the point after. And the Chargers quiet this crowd at RFK. 3.5 minutes into the game, they lead 7-0. Barr hits it low, bounces it down. Ricky Sanders, the wide receiver, has some blockers on the sidelines and finally runs out of room at the 33.
Well,
Roy Bennett.
A very well executed touchdown. Darren Nelson's going to break into the flat, but more important, Miller's up, straight up the field into the corner, and Davis is playing inside. He's got a free safety. He doesn't need to play inside. His technique should be outside in. So you see him angling inside, giving all that room to the corner. The ball's thrown up. Miller, with his speed, just runs to it.
It's interesting. They set it up by going in the middle, and so the safety now had plenty of coverage in the center, and this time Miller took it outside.
So Wayne Davis must have played the wrong technique.
Rypien on play action has a man wide open, Don Warren, the tight end, and he's into Charger territory to the 48-yard line. Gary Plummer and Cedric Figueroa. The Chargers have a Plummer and a Barber at linebacker. Figueroa, the Barber from Seville.
We've got a replay of that technique. Now it's a bootleg all the way. They completely fool people to the outside. No one to cover it in a zone defense.
Don Warren, who doesn't get the ball often, that's only his 12th catch of the year, but such a solid player for many years. The throw to Monk, and Art Monk adds a few more yards to his march toward 1,000 as he's stormed by Vincey Glenn. Let's look at the Redskin offense. That pickup of about 7. Lachey, the ex-Charger tackle, McKenzie, Bostic, the veteran, Schlereth from Alaska, and Ed Simmons. Rypien, Biner, the running back from Cleveland. What a trade. Warren, Sanders, Monk, and Clark, the wide receivers. When they go to heavy, 3 tight ends, Warren, Tice, and Orr are the 3 big guys, with Sanders the only wide receiver. Second down 4. Ernest Biner struggles across the 40. Still no whistle, and finally Plummer able to rest him down a yard shy of a first down. 3rd and 1, the defense for the Chargers, and this is one of the top defenses in the league, especially against the pass. Lee Williams has a dozen sacks. Joe Phillips in the middle. Bert Grossman, the rookie from Pittsburgh, the #1 pick, has 7. Billy Ray Smith doesn't get the publicity he deserves, but Gary Plummer, Figueroa, O'Neill, Leslie O'Neill has 10.5 sacks. Bird, Seal, Bayless, and Glenn, the back 4, and they are going to pressure the quarterback. 3rd and 1, Biner. I don't think he made it. Cedric Figueroa.
The Redskins are famous. They have a real history of specialized plays to beat specialized defenses. San Diego's been playing a more specialized kind of defense. Everybody up front playing for the run. Defensive ends real wide, and you'll see Joe Gibbs use a number of plays that'll surprise them, much as that original bootleg play did, and Leslie O'Neill was completely fooled on it.
They're going to measure, but they really didn't gain anything from the play before, but that is the option of Rypien or the Washington captains, just to see how far shy they are of a first down. That much. And Joe Gibbs going to go for it. Bringing in the heavy. Warren, Tice, and Jimmy Johnson, the 3rd tight end this time.
Well, Joe Gibbs, I'm sure, has a play he feels very strongly about right here that he saw. He's studying tapes. He knows just what he wants to do, or he would have punted the ball.
It's Biner, and he has the first down. Gil Bird makes the tackle at the 36.
Excellent job by Biner. He started inside and just bent out as the pursuit people came up in there to stop him from making that first down. Biner, one of the best all-around backs in the league. You could name 4 or 5 people and then include Biner as a great all-around running back, receiving, carrying the ball, and even blocking.
Joe Gibbs, it's not been an easy year for him. He said last year was brutal. That was his term for a 7-9 season. And then when they lost to Dallas mid-season 13-3, he said that was the lowest point forever. He used the word. Here's Biner. It was so productive for the Browns, but surprised everyone, including you, Bill Walsh, when the Browns traded him here to the Redskins for Mike Oliphant.
What a trade. I'm sure the Redskins were wise, but I'm not sure they realized what they were really getting to the extent of what Biner can do. They brought him in as an H-back. That's the back that plays a semi-tight end position, moving in motion along the line, primarily a blocker, occasionally a receiver. But now they're finding Biner as an excellent runner. One of the better runners in the league, and a fine pass receiver, and above all, a real leader, which the Redskins have desperately needed in recent years.
2nd and 9. Rypien under some pressure, has to dump it off, incomplete to Biner, unable to pull that one in. Joe Phillips was the man pressuring Mark Rypien. Billy Ray Smith on the coverage. And the Chargers bring in their pass defense, the extra defenders against the throw. And Gerald Riggs, 37, comes in for the Redskins. Lee, Williams, Miller, O'Neill, and Grossman now the front 4 in the prevent. Smith, Bird, Seal, Lyles, Glenn, Bennett, and Patterson, the defenders in the dime package for San Diego. 3rd and 9. Rypien on the roll. Good protection. And it's incomplete as Elvis Patterson comes over to make the hit on Art Monk.
Well, Rypien had the protection. They did a great job of sealing people off to the inside so he could roll out to his right. And he had all the room he needed, but the throw was just high, way out of bounds, way over everybody's head. A clean, open receiver couldn't get the job done.
Phil McConkey, the ex-Giant, is deep. He lets it go, and it takes a backward bounce, and it is, nope, not down. For some reason, the Redskins let the ball roll after it was touched. They could have downed it, but it trickled to the goal line, and the Chargers with a break will get it at the 20. Welcome back to Washington. Midpoint first quarter. The Chargers have the ball for the 2nd time, leading 7-0. Marion Butts has some running room. He's to the 29. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Well, this is the time when we really find out about this Charger offense. They surprised the Redskins for a couple of big passes, but now the pressure's on with a guy like Neil Olkowitz leading the defense. Now we'll see what the Chargers are really made of.
As you look at the early scores around the league. Second down and less than a yard for Tolliver, who sends Anthony Miller to the left. You look at Neil Olkowitz, the veteran, number 52, playing in his final season. This will be his last home game. Had a rip-roaring ovation for him as he was introduced. His teammates belting him on the helmet, congratulating him on his years and wishing him well. First down as Butts plows to the 34-yard line. 148th regular season game for Olkowitz.
Well, he's been so instrumental in all their success, and his quiet leadership. What a difference. His first game playing, first victory for Gibbs. Chicago, Olkowitz makes a big interception, turns the game around. Redskins win it. From that point on, his history with now a great football organization. Olkowitz has a major role in it.
Gibbs was 0-5 at the time, and it was Olkowitz who got him headed in the right direction. Tolliver looking big and throwing long for Walker, his college teammate, and he has a first down at the Redskin 21. And they're picking that deep defense apart. Bowles and Mayhew made the tackle, and little Wayne Walker, they call him Bug, 5'8" and 162. He could play cornerback for the Redskins with those dimensions.
Well, neither safety, strong or weak for the Redskins, is getting far enough over to make a play. We're straight down the field. You don't see a safety, but you see a corner on the outside. So that allows Walker to get inside position and make his catch. This happened twice now. Redskins safeties not quick enough to get there, and the receiver being a step faster than the defender. But more importantly, Billy Joe Tolliver hitting these people. So often a rookie would over or underthrow these passes.
Here comes Butts trying the left side this time. Gets up ahead of steam. He's tough to bring down, as they learned last week in the uniform of the Jets when he went some 40 yards and ran through 5 or 6 tacklers. Just a solo effort for a touchdown. Finally, Johnson and Bowles get him to the ground, after a pickup of around 9.
Well, that was strong running. The last 5 yards of that, Butts had to travel through 2 determined tacklers. 250 pounds, 6'1". He was drafted primarily because he was a great special teams player, a backup in college. But at this point, they're finding that power running late in the year is breaking down a lot of fatigued defenders who have played now going on 14 games.
2nd and 1.
3 tight ends.
Butts again. May have the first down. He's playing with a heavy heart today. His mother passed away earlier this week on Monday. He was gone most of the week from practices, rejoined the team, and playing for a woman that inspired him is Marion Butts today.
Well, at this point, the Chargers are substituting regularly, going with 2 or 3 tight ends, 2 or 3 wide receivers, and the speed of their offense is having an impact on the Redskins. The Redskins aren't as quick as the Chargers, and this surprises me. I didn't expect this. Of course, it's very early in the game.
Either 3rd and inches or a first down San Diego. Eyeballing it is Howard Rowe, and
well, that's tight.
He'll re-examine, apparently just short as they remark it at the inbounds line. Dan Henning, his brother John's a news reporter for NBC up in Boston. No relation to Doug, but he'd like to come up with a little magic today against his former boss Joe Gibbs.
Well, he said this game means nothing more than another game because primarily the Chargers haven't been able to win. So winning anywhere is more important than any personal needs to demonstrate in front of Joe Gibbs or anything else. Just get us a win somehow. Well, now they need a touchdown. A field goal isn't going to hold up. So they need 7 points at this position on the field.
You look for maybe a pass here on 3rd and inches?
I think he'll go right inside to this fullback.
And it is Butts. Met sharply as he got to the line of scrimmage and driven back. Raven Caldwell, 50, was the man there first.
Well, one of the plays that you really need in a situation like that is a back like Darren Nelson to go over the top. So we're going to have a tackle right here, and the tackle's here, but the penetration here is going to make a lot of difference. Now we're going to come in and clean up on the tackle after the blocking has been taken apart. So there's a push, and there isn't anywhere to go, and there's 50 sitting outside.
They remeasure, and Butts did get. Well, Butts got his head there just in time for first down.
Sure didn't look like he made it. It must have just been for an instant.
Yeah, that's the advantage of the 250.
Well, Tracy Rocker pushed his man back into the backfield. There was nowhere to run, so it had to be all on the ball carrier. The blocking broke down.
First down at the 11-yard line of Washington. 3:21 remaining in the first quarter, and the Chargers trying to add to a 7-0 lead. Safety blitz. Bowles coming. Well picked up, and then they deflect the ball. Incomplete. And he had a man wide open in the end zone.
Well, the pattern took too long to develop. Consequently, by the time it was thrown, with Tolliver looking in that direction, it was blocked. You almost have to time those more quickly, especially when you get blitzes. Here comes a safety blitz right up inside. It's blocked, but see the push on Tolliver. He can't get the ball off. Now, if the receiver had just broken out quickly, he might have had time to do it.
Darrell Grant was the man who deflected the ball, and look at Anthony Miller. Do you think he might have had another 7? Well, maybe not.
Maybe not.
2nd and 10. Andy Parker was open at the other corner of the end zone. No one near him. There's the throw to Miller. Well thrown by Tolliver, and Miller bounced out of bounds at the 5 by Martin Mayhew, the first-year corner from Florida State. Of course, Darrell Green, he could be available if the Redskins got into the playoffs. A fractured wrist. They miss him, certainly. Joe Jacoby, Mark May. It's been a tough year.
What we have is a corner pattern in behind people, then a sliding pattern back to the outside, short. Now, this was an alternate receiver, and what's most important about Billy Joe Tolliver now, he's showing a lot of poise. It's the best football he's probably played in his life, and if he can keep it up, they're going to be in the ball game.
3rd down, a short 4, 5 yards for a touchdown. touchdown it is to Wayne Walker, his first NFL score. So the Texas Tech connection, Tolliver to Walker. It was Walker who had not been drafted, and Tolliver said, hey, I had a great little receiver at Tech. You better take a look at him. The Chargers did. Henning signed him up along with Steve Ortmeyer, and he has his first score, 13-0.
Billy Joe Tolliver. Great job. A lot of poise.
Well, it was a portent, a 43-yard pass to Walker, and that led to the score, just as Miller's long pass led to the first touchdown for San Diego. Here comes Joe Howard. He returned one for the Raiders. He's at the 40. And Johnny Thomas gets him out of bounds at the San Diego 37-yard line. Thomas, a former Redskin. Joe Howard, who played a year of basketball at Notre Dame, as well as an all-around football athlete under the dome.
Joe Howard really played off his blockers. That was a beautifully executed play.
Not too beautifully, because there's a flag
again,
down.
Yeah. So often this happens. We keep harping on it. I guess there isn't much more we can say.
Illegal block on the return team, number 91, first down.
You know, Dick, we always reminded our players with the 49ers that officials can see every blocker on these kick return teams. There's an official assigned to virtually every player. And there just isn't a way to have a foul and get away with it. And you have to remind them of that. The simplest things, the easiest call to make for an official is going to be right here on the outside, and there's the block to the outside.
So a 59-yard return by Joe Howard nullified. And the Redskins start inside their own 15, trailing 14-0 with 2:40 to go in this first quarter. Mark Rypien might be changing his play. And Leslie O'Neal makes the tackle at the 16-yard line. O'Neal, number 91. Let's check the other scores. Boy, this has got to be the surprising early count. 14-0 San Diego. Big one, Kansas City and Green Bay. Minnesota has the early lead. The Bears by a field goal. The Bengals, fighting in the Central, have a 7-0 lead against Seattle. Tampa Bay, Houston tied. Pittsburgh leads the Jets 7-0 in the first. New Orleans builds a 13-0 lead. Buffalo. Well, that too a surprise, as the Bills perhaps having trouble bouncing back from the Monday night loss in Seattle. Rypien. Ooh, that into a crowd of blue, but a flag goes down. Now sometimes that flag is for tight end holding.
Well, there must have been defensive holding along that line. There was so much traffic in one area that somebody was stopped by a defender, and that's what it must have been. Here we are.
It was against the Chargers.
Holding, number 25 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Benzie Glenn, and the Skins have a first down out at the 22-yard line.
Well, I couldn't really spot exactly where it happened on the field, but with all these crossing patterns in close, defenders are trying to keep position, and I assume at some point they grab. Now, this pass rush hasn't gotten there yet, really. The famous pass rush, or the feared pass rush of the Chargers.
39 sacks this year. Rypien.
Again, good protection.
Guns it to Monk, and it's a first down out at the 36-yard line. Gil Byrd made the tackle. Byrd, number 22, regarded by the Chargers as a Pro Bowl candidate. He said quietly he's gone about intercepting more than his share, has 6 this year.
Well, he's not especially fast, but he's got excellent mechanics and footwork. This shows his ability to come back and make a play on a ball in front of him. So without great speed, he's what you'd call it the technician aspect of cornerback play.
Monk with a couple of catches now with 68 on the year as he moves toward the number 4-3 spot all time. He's currently 4th best. Here's Miner on a quick pop out to the 43-yard line. Bert Grossman angling over from his defensive end, the rookie from Pittsburgh, number 1 pick, 8th man selected in the draft, made the tackle. He's a colorful guy at Pittsburgh. He had one of his roommates was a boa constrictor. I asked him if he still had that. He's gone to San Diego, and it just shows what happens to a Pittsburgh kid when they go to San Diego. What's he got now?
He's a parrot, isn't it? A parrot. He's trying to teach it to talk.
Yeah.
And there's some concern around San Diego that he talks too much himself. So the two of them are roommates.
But he says the next step is a monkey. Okay. And then we ask him, is he married yet? But I guess that was kind of unnecessary.
He was worried about that monkey being a little messy.
Ricky Sanders. Look at him dance around with Vincey Glenn, and it's a first down at the 38 of San Diego.
Beautifully executed play with a defender that's not quite as quick as a receiver trying to respond to him. So he's going to break up the field and across the field, and you see pretty decent coverage, but the quickness by Ricky Sanders just is too much for Glenn. You can't make a play on it. All he can do is sort of keep position and funnel him to the sideline. Now there should have been a penalty right there, and you can see on the sideline. Officials are letting too much of that happen as the season progresses.
So trailing 14-0. Rypien lobs that one in. Another penalty flag goes down. Thrown by the same back judge.
Well, thus far, if Rypien gets this kind of protection, he's going to take apart the San Diego defense that does not have quickness in the secondary. Again, they're being forced to hold as people release because they can't stay with them. They need heat on the passer, and they've got the people to do it.
Defense, number 25, 5-yard penalty, first down.
As Monk cuts in, he's going to be held right there. That's about 7 or 8 yards downfield, and of course the minimum or maximum is 5 yards. But they're going to need that to stay with these receivers that are breaking laterally, and Joe Gibbs spots this. He had a plan, but when he sees the difference in quickness, you're going to see all kind of patterns that break across the field.
Final seconds, first quarter. First down, and the flag goes down. Leslie O'Neal and Jim Lachey are in quite a battle as well. The illegal procedure against the Skins will be 1st and 15. There's O'Neal. Quite a story. They thought his career brilliant as a rookie when he had 12.5 sacks in the first 13 games and terrible knee injury. Total reconstruction, out almost 2 years, but he worked and worked, played a lot of golf, he said, really has improved his game, and now is back, has 10.5 sacks this year, second in the AFC.
It's just disgusting to hear how he plays golf. He's only played about 3 years, and he's already a 2 or 3 handicap, playing every day. But regardless, I've played most of my life and can't break 100. So these guys are such fine athletes. They pick up these sports so easily.
Throw underneath, incomplete. That's Gil Bird moving in on the intended receiver, Ricky Sanders. Now Bird, to give you an idea how highly they think of him, San Diego, whenever you go to the 5 or 6 defensive backs, he gets the toughest receiver man to man.
And again, with deficient speed in a sense, his technique is so good, and he's in such good strength with excellent stamina that he's able to stay with people and just sort of wear them out. But he's their key guy, not only as a player but as a leader. He's got excellent leadership qualities.
Number 1 pick out of San Jose State in '83. Rypien underneath goes to Gary Clark. He draws a crowd, and Bird is the first there. Martin Bayless to help out. Short gain of only a couple to Gary Clark.
Well, the Chargers switched to a zone defense that time. I think they'd had enough of these crossing receivers.
And that is the end of the opening quarter here at RFK in cool but sunny Washington, D.C. The Chargers up by 2 as we open the second quarter. 3rd and 12 at the San Diego 35. Rypien from Washington State. Knocked down and almost intercepted by number 99 Lee Williams, who fell back into coverage.
Well, we got a great job of pass protection being done by the Redskins that time, because the Chargers blitzed. The Redskin pass protector stayed right in front of their people, and it took 3 or 4 seconds to finally get toward the quarterback. So you'll see protection, people doing an excellent job fundamentally funneling people. See all this room he's got, all this room. Then he throws the ball with a low trajectory.
Moshenko, too long for a field goal. McConkey makes the fair catch and then argues that he was bumped, and he was indeed brushed by one of the oncoming Redskin defenders, but not enough to catch the eye of the official on the spot. Phil McConkey, that's not going to bother a guy who used to fly helicopter pilots and try to hit aircraft carriers on his landings.
Well, it was so insignificant, I don't think they would call that. But
oh, we've got a big NFL weekend ahead, a bonus Saturday game. Denver Broncos will be at Phoenix. Bob Costas, O.J. Simpson and the gang. 3:30 for NFL Live. And then on Sunday, a doubleheader. There are the games, the early games. Big one, Houston, Cincinnati. Will be out in San Francisco, the Bills and the Niners. San Diego 14, Redskins nothing. Here's Marion Butts. And he's out close to the 15-yard line. After they socked him for losses his first 2 carries, Butts is finding some room to run now, and it's in part due to Billy Joe Tolliver opening up the defense with his throwing arm. Well, there's some big guys blocking for the big fullback. There is the starting offensive line, averaging 6'5" and 297, and that doesn't include a tight end, Arthur Cox, who is 277.
Well, one of the best is Courtney Hall, a smallish center, size-wise anyway. A great young rookie center, probably the best young prospect in the league.
Butts runs right into Neil Olkowitz, the veteran, number 52, and that won't be good enough for a first down. It's right at the 15-yard line. Let's look at Courtney Hall, number 53 for the Chargers.
Courtney Hall comes off the line of scrimmage, but Olkowitz has got a little bit of an angle on him. He cuts him down, but Olkowitz is able to get up quickly, being the pro he is, and make the play.
Courtney Hall, what a story. He started at Rice University at the age of 16, acknowledged as a gifted child at 2 out in Banning, California, near Palm Springs. He's only 21 and a starter here in the NFL, the youngest in the league. Third and about 3. Tolliver, a lot of time, and he slides out to the 19-yard line. I don't know, he may have gone down too soon. Darrell Grant there to cover him. We'll see where they spot it.
Well, he kept his composure during that entire scenario because he had a receiver he was waiting on. When he wasn't open, he ran the ball. Now that seems simple enough, but for a rookie under this heat and this pressure of a Redskin game in this stadium, pretty good job.
That's the longest run of NFL in his NFL career for Billy Joe Tolliver from Boyd, Texas. He'll ring up his folks who have an unlisted number there in Boyd, 889 people.
Well, you know, Billy Joe burst into my room last night. If you recall, he didn't quite make an interview we had. He came into my room at 9:30, pounded on the door. I don't know who it could have been. Came in and sat in front of me. One of my questions was, what's the difference between college and professional? He says, well, I wouldn't be sitting here in Bill Walsh's room with his shirt off like that if I was in college. In other words, think for a minute, Coach.
He didn't seem worried at all about the Redskins. Says we just run the same old plays. I mean, just the plays. You just run them every week. It was a first down by about the length of the ball. Play action. Tolliver looking for Wayne Walker, and he's got it out near the 30-yard line. Walker with his third catch. Dan Henning said, we've got to look at this free agent. We need somebody to make big plays. Jamie Holland has been getting open, has not caught everything thrown to him, so here's Walker's chance, and he's delivering.
Well, he's running straight down the field, bursting down the field. There's a little play pass, but I like this. I'm starting to be a believer with Dan Henning on Tolliver. What a shot. Good throw, good timing.
A.J. Johnson on the coverage. It's another first down for the Chargers, who have moved the ball well through the air. Wayne Walker, there you see his numbers, and of course Anthony Miller on the other side gathering double and triple coverage and still has a touchdown to add to his total 9 for the year. There's Miller, who's from Pasadena, California. He went to San Diego State on a track scholarship, 400-meter man. They only gave him half a scholarship. He said, I couldn't do it on that alone, so I went back home. Wanted to play football anyway, and they were trying to talk me out of it. Went back to Pasadena, junior college, then on to Tennessee, a #1 pick a year ago, and he has lived up to his collegiate ratings.
You know, he didn't do that much at Tennessee except demonstrate great athletic ability. In those combine workouts they have each year, he was the fastest receiver and one of the better receivers hands-wise.
Here comes Butts trying to get outside, but cannot. He's cut down. Raven Caldwell from Arkansas. He played with Billy Ray Smith and Gary Anderson, San Diego Chargers, with Razorbacks. Of course, Anderson sitting out the year, and that in part explains San Diego's offensive woes prior to today.
You know, speaking of Courtney Hall, in the combine workouts they have in Indianapolis every year, for the first time they had one person who was the strongest, that could jump the highest as a lineman, but also had the highest intelligence test score of anyone at the combine. So the strongest and the brightest in one young man.
Courtney Hall. Here's little Darren Nelson trying to find running room. There is none. And as they do a little push and shove to get that circulation going, let's check the scores around the country. Minnesota now with a 10-3 lead, and Kansas City has scored first at Green Bay. Heard your picks for the Super Bowl next year. You already got the Packers and the Chiefs in there, huh?
Well, I think the odds makers will move them way up. Going in, it was 300-1 against both teams, and this next year I think it'll probably be about 3-1.
Third down, 11, San Diego. 10.5 minutes remain in the first half, and the Chargers up by 14. Billy Joe looking for Miller. Great protection. Now he throws complete to Nelson out at the 39-yard line. That'll be close, but I believe shy by a yard of a first down. Boy, even off balance, he just flips it out there.
What a great job, and I keep using the word great with this young man, and he certainly isn't a great player at this point, but the things he's doing are so spontaneous, so instinctive. I can see what Dan Henning and Ted Tolliver saw in him when they went over there to Texas to work him out. Watch his poise. Watch his poise. Now, he's done this before instinctively. He knows just where to go with the football. Now, this is by far his best game. This may make the difference. Now, Dick, I understand why Jim McMahon's on the bench. I couldn't figure it out coming into this game. Now I can see why.
Hank Illicit, a 41-yard average to kick to Joe Howard inside the Redskin 25 on 4th and 1. Former Canadian Football League punter Illicit. Fair catch Howard at the 22. All-time NFL leading receivers. Largent, who has a catch today, so his string continues. Consecutive catch, string 8-12. Then Joyner. There's Charlie Joyner, assistant coach now with the Chargers. Charlie Taylor, an assistant on the sidelines of the Redskins. And Art Monk now only 5 away from number 3. Ernest Biner out across the 25. Monk, who played at Syracuse as a running back, like Charlie Taylor, a running back out of college, and then converted to wide receiver. And how quietly Monk, and he's gotten his publicity here in this great football conscious pro city, Washington, D.C., but around the league, when you talk about the all-time great catchers, you don't think of Art Monk as the special player that he is.
Well, Dick, as you related about those three people, none of the three have depended purely on speed to be great receivers. They've had stamina, endurance, a lot of things that people don't characterize immediately.
Rypien to Biner to the 30. That'll bring up 3rd down and 2. And there's Biner, first running, then receiving. That was that kind of productivity that he was very proud of in Cleveland. And we were puzzled by the trade. Oliphant going to Cleveland. We asked him at Redskin Park yesterday, well, why do you think you were traded?
Well, the Cleveland Browns desperately wanted Metcalf on their team. They had Kevin Mack, a big back. Biner was somewhere in between. If someone was expendable, it was Biner, who, to be honest with you, could very well have been the best of all three.
3rd down and 2. Warren in motion. Rypien, well protected, and he's going long, but well covered is Clark, and he makes the 10. No, does not come down with it. That would have been a remarkable play. Sam Seal, number 30, was there for the Chargers. And he's shaken up a bit on the play.
It was a valiant effort, it really was, and it looked as though he had it, and it was jarred loose after he had hit the ground. Beautiful catch. It looks like he has it. Now it's knocked loose by the defender. It actually could have been judged as a reception.
Mojenko, and they kick in a hurry to the Redskins. McConkey. A lot of dance, but too many partners, and down he goes at the 32. Reminder to our viewers, we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player in today's game at the conclusion. Apparently not a candidate, as he puts on the jacket number 9, Jim McMahon, the $800,000 reserve now for San Diego.
Well, Billy Joe Tolliver gives McMahon credit for assisting him in with as he says, the details of the game and the mechanics of the game. Because obviously Billy Joe is new to professional football, and those nuances McMahon has helped him with, and they apparently are real good friends off the field.
Yeah, Tolliver says he has to. His wife really likes McMahon. Marion Butts again into nothing, as stacking the play well was Darrell Grant. Well, the Redskins have been powerful at home through the years when Joe Gibbs on the sidelines, but not this season. They're struggling to break even in their 8 games, and they've not lost on a season record in 21 years here at RFK.
Well, Joe Gibbs started with the oldest team in the league. And
this season started
in the league, right? And he now has one of the very youngest teams. He's made that entire transition while holding their own and staying in the playoff race. So a lot of credit goes to making that transition during the season.
There's a lot of that dictated by all the injuries. Tolliver on 2nd and 11 out of the backfield. And Anthony Miller wrapped up nicely by Martin Mayhew. Right, on NFL Live, Bobby Beathard said that he doesn't think Bo Jackson's going to play football next year. That must mean that Al Davis will make a big trade for a couple number ones. Bernie Kosar, Merlin Olsen reporting in Cleveland Cincinnati game, said Bernie told him that he can't even straighten that elbow that we talked about on Thanksgiving Day. And Jerry Glanville, well, nothing new there. He says he still doesn't know if he's got a job next year, despite being in first place.
You know, I can't believe that Jackson thing and visiting with him last week. He was so positive about football, about the Raiders, and about his career, and about doubling up.
Redskins forced to call a timeout here. And just in case you forgot what they look like, I think this is important we do this, that O.J. and Bob and Ralph and Bobby, see, I got some inside stuff too. Bobby Beathard, here's my insider's report. I hear will be the Charger general manager next year.
Well, that's a shocker, Dick. It's only been in public for about 6 months.
Well, you know, those telephone wires are long. First-year cornerbacks for the Redskins, Mayhew and Johnson. First-year quarterback Tolliver has been the better man for the first half. 14-0. San Diego on 3rd down. And down goes Tolliver as the pressure from Raymond Caldwell.
There were just too many people to be blocked. Tolliver didn't see it quite quickly enough, but the one thing he did do was get rid of the ball before the sack was there. So he showed his poise. In visiting with him last night, he said, I know they'll blitz me. I know I'm a rookie, but here's an unblocked man coming from the outside right here, and he'll be unblocked, and Tolliver just was able to get rid of the ball.
Just does dump it out in the flat, no flag, and here's Hank Illisick on 4th down and 8. He lines one toward Joe Howard at the 20. Waits for his blockers. Does a good job. Now he's got some room. And finally caught from behind at the Charger 40-yard line. Joe Howard.
Well, 3 times now the return team of the Redskins has taken apart San Diego. Excellent blocking, fine running from the standpoint of making people miss. But look at these blocks all over the field. It's all designed middle return with people crossing and that ball carrier coming right up the middle. Great job 3 different times. And this is really about the only thing San Diego isn't handling.
Rypien going long for Clark, but right into the arms of Gil Byrd, who has his 7th interception of the year. It's whistled dead back inside the 10-yard line. So Byrd, who had 7 thefts last year, has 7 more this year, and that moves him into a tie with Kenny Graham as the number 2 pass interceptor in Charger history with a total of 25.
Now that was, I don't know what you'd call that, bad judgment, I guess, because there was a zone defender sitting back there, and Rypien threw the ball right to him. You're going to see a zone defense back here, and we can't, the telestrator isn't working, so we're going to have to just talk to you about it. But we had a defender sitting back in the corner with a ball thrown to a crossing receiver right to him. I can't understand that.
Looked like Byrd did try to lateral to Glenn, but he was already down. So first down, Billy Joe Tolliver at his 9-yard line. Butts. He eluded a man in the backfield and drives to the 19-yard line. About 9 more for Marion Butts.
Well, at this point, there's a surprise on my part. Both lines have not been evident in a sense. Neither team has been able to demonstrate defensively or offensively their line play is superior. Consequently, the passing game has taken over. Both quarterbacks with time to throw the ball, both quarterbacks with a vision downfield because no pass rush push to find their receivers. And that is the surprising part because we went into this thinking that big offensive line of either team could control the game.
Butts hit just as he took the handoff. Lucky that wasn't a fumble. He doesn't gain a thing. Tracy Rocker, number 99. The first pick of the Skins in the last draft, although it came in the 3rd round out of Auburn.
Now Rocker's just going to kind of come straight up the field, and they tried to trap from the outside with number 88 tight end coming to the inside, and he couldn't make it. So that penetration beat him to the punch.
And Neil Oklowitz finished the job. The veteran linebacker. They said they gave him a $500 bonus, Washington, just to gain 10 pounds when he first came here with the Redskins. Playing at 230, only 6 feet tall. He said, I was too little for Penn State. That's where I wanted to go. Tolliver to the tight end, Arthur Cox. He's 277 pounds. You can almost feel the shake when he hit the ground at the 24-yard line. That'll be a first down for the San Diego Chargers.
It was an outlet pass to Cox as he comes to the outside. Now, Cox didn't run like a big man. He turned and avoided outside and let a smaller man just take him right down. You'd think he'd turn up the field inside of that defender and make it physically tough to deal with him.
A.J. Johnson's 176. Cox is 277. But A.J. did the job. First down at the 24 with 4.5 minutes left in this first half. And the Chargers, that's right, San Diego leading 14-0. Sidearms it out to Walker, and it's a catch at the 32-yard line. That looked like a second baseman starting a double play.
Well, he got it off as quickly as he could. He actually threw it sidearm to try to get it there quickly. He's the kind of person that would make an impression. Dan Henning and Ted Tolliver, both people went out to watch him. Look at that sidearm throw to get it off quickly, and it just gets there before it hits the ground. But in working him out, they went into town with him, went to restaurants. He was so popular in his own hometown that they knew they had sort of a charismatic, young leadership type of person to play backup quarterback for a while and take the job. It certainly seems to be the thing that's going to work out.
Raven Caldwell makes the tackle on Marion Butts as Butts drives close to another San Diego first down. At the Charger 35, and they're in position of running out the half with a long drive here and a 14-0 lead. Clock running to the 3-minute mark as Rypien hoping he gets another offensive chance in this first 30 minutes. Triple left, play action, good protection, and wide open is Walker. Oh, is he hit, and he hangs onto the ball at the Redskin 37. Little but tough is Walker, who has another big gainer, 28 yards. A.J. Johnson with a hit.
Walker knew there was going to be somebody back there when he caught that ball, so he knew he had to gear up to get it. He's going to go straight up the field and bend out into the corner. We see at the bottom of the screen, he knew someone was going to be there. Look at him use his body right there.
That was Clarence Vaughn, the safety, at 6 feet and 202. Put the pop on him at the 38. Another San Diego first down as there's 2:25 left in the half.
Again, a nice soft touch pass that let Walker get underneath it.
Again, a fake to Butts. Tolliver guns it wide open, incomplete, and there's the easy one. Walker makes the tough catch and then dropped the easy one. But he was wide open over the middle.
Well, he wanted to run before he got the ball. It was that simple. He knew he was going to be wide open. There were no linebackers underneath, so he knew he had room to catch it and run, and he took his eye off it.
This kid from Waco, Texas, he injured a knee early in the Texas Tech year last season, was on crutches, dropped out of school. No one drafted him, and Tolliver tipped off San Diego. Well, that would have been a half dozen catches for over 100 yards and a half had he pulled that one in. 2:14 now. No time remaining first half. And they're waiting for Darren Nelson. Charging in, number 91, Greg Minuski, a linebacker from Colgate. 2 minutes to go in the first half. The Chargers in position to add to a surprising 14-0 lead. The San Diego Chargers, the Don Coryell Chargers of the early 80s, are perennial leaders in passing. And then Coryell left, and while the defense was awful in the early 80s, the defense becomes strong. And here in '89, 27th in the league, the Charger passing numbers, but not today. Billy Joe's done a good job. He throws that one away. No flag, and there wasn't any receiver near that one. Arthur Cox, a tight end, was, well, in the ballpark, and that was about it. Good pressure from Brian Davis on the cornerback blitz.
Again, Tolliver showed a lot of poise, demonstrated that he's got his mind and instincts going, because he got rid of that ball. That situation where you throw that ball away, one situation they'll call it, another they won't, and that's one of the rules that they're going to have to deal with the competition committee, because as of a couple of weeks ago, games we've done, that would have been called actually getting rid of the ball prematurely.
That last look of Billy Joe Tolliver, now I know who he reminds me of. Illicek. Howard lets it go, and the Chargers are going to let it just roll out, and the clock goes with it. 1:45, 1:44 down at the 7-yard line. With the broad shoulders, short, red hair, why not? Sonny Jurgensen, the Hall of Famer. Yeah, that's who, and with a solid arm. Billy Joe's guy.
I think the same basic personality, too.
Would watch a lookalike, a young lookalike. Mark Rypien, he needs something in a hurry, and he goes out to Gary Clark, who makes a spectacular catch out at the 19-yard line. And the Redskins, with only 2 timeouts and a minute and a half to go, are going to hurry downfield.
Normally, I think Joe Gibbs would most likely run the clock out here, but in this case, he thinks he can go for it. They're down 14-0. They've got to get 3 points at least off on that board.
Ernest Biner gets only 3 yards on that play before Billy Ray Smith puts the tack on him. 1:17 to go in the half. Timeout, Washington. Had a couple pretty good, as you see, Doug Williams, now the backup. Kerry Porter and Reuben Mays were his running backs at Washington State, so he passed when they weren't running. To the sidelines to Monk, and he's got another catch, but doesn't get out of bounds at the 33-yard line. So Monk now 4 catches from the number 3 all-time spot. More importantly, Washington goes to work with just 1 minute to go in the half. 1 timeout left. To the far sidelines, and it was almost intercepted by Elvis Patterson, but Clark steals it away. What hands he has. He is strong for a man 5'9" and 173.
Well, that ball was thrown up for 2 men to go for, and 1 came down with it, Clark. That could have been disastrous if it had gone the other way. It's just a deep out pattern. He plants. Now watch both men go for a football, and he just clings to that thing and gets it to his body, and it can't be pulled away.
Can't get out of bounds, however, and that forces Washington to spend its final timeout. So 49 seconds left. 14-0 San Diego here in Washington. Green Bay has cut Kansas City's lead to 4. Minnesota by 7. Detroit by 4 over Chicago. Cincinnati now builds a 10-point lead. Houston by 10. Pittsburgh 7-0. It's been that way for a long time in the Meadowlands. New Orleans now leads Buffalo 16-9 as the Bills come back, and Philadelphia up by 14 over Dallas.
Well, Dan Henning decided a couple of weeks ago to play all of his younger people that they've drafted and signed and tried to develop and see where they are. I'm not sure that it wasn't conceding something, but on the other hand, as of today, is paying off.
Ernest Biner, the lone setback. Good protection again. Now Rypien scrambles, throws, and it's to Sanders, short yardage, and the clock continues to run. Roy Bennett, an extra defensive back, number 23, was there first. Clock ticks away, an 8-yard gain. Not quite in field goal range for Chip Lohmeyer, who's longest this year, 48. Now Rypien goes a little longer to Clark, and he can't hang on this time. Boy, every catch that Clark has an opportunity to make is in the tough category.
Well, again, the protection is so solid right now. This ball is just throwing a step or two too far, and again, that great acrobatic ability to go up for something and bring it back down. But more importantly, at this point, the pass protection for the Redskins is solid against a pass rush group that's supposed to be one of the best in football. There aren't any line stunts being used by the Chargers at this point. They're just coming straight up the field, right into Redskin blockers, and they're not getting close.
See Les Miller digging in. Defensive line, George Hinkle, not active. He's been placed on injured reserve by San Diego.
Plenty of time.
And he's going to go for a big one. He's got Sanders open. Touchdown! The Redskins laid a trap. They worked on the short stuff, almost as if they were going to settle for a field goal. Flooded everyone left, and then broke Sanders back to the right side, and he beat Gilbert.
Again, all the time he needed. That kind of pass takes 5 seconds to get off. Rypien had all the time he needed to throw an accurate ball all the way across the field.
Low Miller adds the extra point, and let's look at it from high above. A flag down on the extra point, and they'll mark that off on the ensuing kickoff.
Well, you're going to see him sprint this way and then throw all the way back over here. Chargers funneling this way, and there's just no one there. When the ball comes down, it's going to be thrown and caught at full stride. So you see all the way across the field, faking left, then up over the top. And people just lost their concentration briefly, but that's a fine catch running full speed, and that ball traveling that far. But again, Dick, the pass protection allowed him to do it.
Here's Sanders' move.
Straight up the field,
him.
Nods out. Then again, there isn't the speed there to stay with him. The defenders, the entire secondary of the Chargers isn't very quick. They don't have the speed, and it demonstrated itself.
Well, that's really an emotional turnabout for Joe Gibbs' Redskins, who have played a very quiet first half, to be able to cut the lead in half with a long bomb, 45 yards, a 93-yard march in 7 plays against a defense that has just now allowed its 12th touchdown pass of the season. And Sanders gets his 4th to cap a very impressive drive engineered by Mark Rypien.
Well, Mark Rypien dramatized us before the game that he's got the receivers can make big plays, but Ricky Saunders said that's the man I want to go to make the big play, because he's got the speed and the ability to run after the catch.
This is Figueroa, the linebacker, who runs pretty well, the former Notre Damer, out to the 43-yard line. 10 seconds to go. Jimmy Johnson, the tight end, made the tackle. Ricky Sanders adds another to his touchdown bank.
You know, you come into these games late in the season expecting your defense to play well and to help you control the game, and it's your offense, as in the Chargers case. And vice versa for the Redskins. This time of year, things are so unpredictable. That Charger pass rush group just haven't gotten there. Consequently, Rypien's had the time to make the plays.
Miller to the left, Walker to the right. Redskins, of course, playing for a long pass. Tolliver throws underneath to Walk. Check that to Darren Nelson. And that's just short yardage, and the Chargers call time with 2 seconds to go. Caught by Miller, stays in bounds, and out of bounds at the 32. That's a little cosmetics for his season totals, but no damage done. Mark Rypien giving the Redskin fans hope after they trailed the entire half and finally cut it to 14-7.
For the first half, or second half, I mean, because of the out of bounds. That's 35-yard line. That rarely are kickoffs return that far. Apparently San Diego is concerned about the kickoff return and later the punt return of the Redskins, because they've devastated them with them.
The Chargers 4-9. Their last 7 losses have averaged less than 4 points a game, and they're in another one against a top-notch opponent, Washington.
Well, the 265 yards in the first half is close to the Charger total for a game. So that shows you that they have gelled somewhat.
Art Monk adds another to the list, out to the 41-yard line, a 6-yard gain for Monk, who needed 7 catches at the start today to tie Charlie Taylor for number 3 all-time. He now has 4 as he keeps moving up the ranks. There is the current tally, including Largen's catches for the Seahawks in today's game.
Well, Mark Rypien talking about his receivers, his quote is he wants to get things rolling with Monk, because Monk's so dependable at this point, and with his experience and exposure to the game, he's solid.
Redskins with only 16 yards rushing the entire first half. Right back to Monk, and he's got another, and with it a first down at the 46-yard line.
And once again, the quickness is showing up. Monk's quickness and decisiveness on his pass pattern. His defender just couldn't respond to it, and I'm afraid that's going to be a problem unless the Chargers can make yards of their own. Now Monk's going to go in motion, start up, and then burst in and lose his defender who's coming across with him. So you'll see him start up the field, burst up hard, and then stop and start in and just hook in between people. Excellent execution.
Benzie Glenn making the tackle. First down at the 46. And here's Ernest Biner, and he's tripped up in the backfield. It was Joe Phillips, the nose tackle, number 75, who was submerging, got down low, tripped him up, and then secured by Leslie O'Neal.
Leslie O'Neal took that half of the line out that time, the way he penetrated.
Watch number 50, Gary Plummer, as he fights off the block of Don Warren. Woo.
Oh, gee.
Unseen.
They have to eliminate those kind of emotional outbursts, because that's going to cost them games.
2nd and 11, and in traffic, it's Ricky Sanders, the touchdown man, and he's all the way to the San Diego 20-yard, 30-yard line.
Chargers gave it all they had with their pass rush, and they didn't get there. Consequently, time was on the side of the Redskins to hit their receivers.
Well, that gives Sanders yardage over the 900 mark, so all 3 wide receivers over 900 yards this year.
Sanders is quick. Look at this, just nimble movement. Excellent running instincts, and tough going down that sideline.
Well, that was another steal for the Redskins for a number 3 pick to New England. With Sanders out of Southwest Texas State.
Chargers have to at least slow the Redskins down to stay in this game.
Gerald Riggs into the game, number 37. And he stopped short of any big yardage by Cedric Figueroa.
250 pounds. He should make things happen.
Figueroa. If they get things going out there in San Diego, I want to be the PA announcer.
Oh, boy. What am I in on here?
Okay, listen, I'll get you a free ticket to the next Charger game. You can tell me what opera starred Figaro the barber.
Oh, you're going to have me doing Christmas carols, right?
2nd down and 6. Ernest Biner. He's to the 21-yard line. That'll be short of a first down. What famous operatic barber? Barbara Seville. I knew you'd get it right, Coach Walsh.
I thought you'd say the barber of Cincinnati.
Shaving a haircut. All right. 3rd down and 2. Les Miller, number 69, in for Joe Phillips now. A little better pass rusher.
A touchdown here could hurt the Chargers' state of mind, because they've been through this. They've been frustrated before. For their sake, I'm sure that they could just limit this to 3 points.
Rypien. Great catch. Nope. Clark. They rule it a catch and a fumble. No, now finally someone comes in waving incomplete. Gil Bird, 22, was the man who made the hit. Now we're going to have a conference. No one waved incomplete. And now finally, and the official that was way over in the far corner of the end zone was the one man who saw it.
Well, it looked as though from our vantage point that he had the ball. Well thrown. Up and with it. Oh, there he dropped it. He did drop it. Excellent call.
Didn't get both feet down before he'd really pulled it away. So Chip Lohmeyer comes in to try the field goal. It'll be 38 or 39 yards.
Well, if the Chargers can escape with this, they're going to stay in this ball game.
Just inside the 38. And the kick is right down the middle. 38-yard field goal by Lohmiller. And that cuts the Charger lead to 14-10 on the opening possession of the second half. 11:04 now remaining in the third. And it's the Chargers 14, the Redskins 10. Welcome back to RFK. 14-10 San Diego. Anthony Miller with a kickoff. It was his return for a touchdown against the Raiders that rallied San Diego to an upset 14-12 win earlier in the year. Other scores. Kansas City. Boy, Bill Walsh picked that early in the year. There's a team on the come, and they're really racing now toward a possible playoff spot. Minnesota by only 3. Detroit trying to upset Chicago, and boy, upset. How about Ditka? Cincinnati 10-7. Houston with a big lead at the half. Pittsburgh still 7-0. New Orleans by only 4. Buffalo chipping away with a field goal at the Saints lead. And Philadelphia by 2 touchdowns against the Cowpokes.
Well, this is the most important half of the season for Dan Henning and his team because they have to demonstrate character at this point. 4-point lead in the game. Third quarter against a top-notch opponent. They're going to have to keep their composure.
Underneath the Walker, incomplete, and he is drilled by Olkowitz.
Well, that was all on Walker. He kept drifting in toward a zone defender instead of stopping. Now there was a tight end was up the field wide open, but Walker keeps moving in, and again Tolliver leads him right into a zone defender. Now they'll be ironing that out. Most likely not in this game or this season, but those are the kinds of things that a young team will, those mistakes they'll make. 2 rookies trying to complete a pass in the NFL.
Olkowitz comes out playing in his final home game here at RFK. 11 solid years. 2nd and 10. Marion Butts to the 30, a pickup of 5. Butts had over 40 yards rushing in the first half. Monusky and Coleman made the tackle. 3rd and 5, and the nickel package comes in for the Redskins, who have been outstanding in the second half. The last 4 games for Washington, they have not allowed a point to Phoenix, the Bears, Denver, and Philadelphia. Joe Gibbs looking for win number 100. Crowd starting to get into it now. Incomplete. And Wayne Walker suddenly has had the drops. He's dropped 3 or 4 balls since starting the game brilliantly. That could have been a first down. Instead, the Redskins will get the ball.
Well, it was just a little off center, the throw itself, and those kind of throws have to be right on the mark, because if you have to reach and there are defenders on either side of you, very difficult catch. But these are critical times for San Diego, very critical times for their season and in the future. As I say, this setting to develop character as a team, they're finding out about themselves right now.
Illicek handles a low snap, wobbly kick. Ooh, that almost hit one of the Redskins, and finally it's down near midfield. Mark Rypien, and they start with 2 men in the backfield. One is Don Warren. He'll lead blocker if this is a run. It isn't. Rypien into the flat to Biner. Little safety valve is good for about 8 yards. Martin Bayless, the tackler.
Well, Bayless waited and waited on the receiver, and he gave him an extra 5 yards. That's just demonstrating really a lack of confidence. He's going to come up the field and just hit his outlet receiver, and he wants to go down the field. But now he gets his outlet receiver to the outside, and you'll see it when the ball's caught here. Now Bayless is settling down right there, waiting, and he's giving 5 extra yards. By the time a receiver gets to him and he's stationary, he gets bowled over.
A long one on 2nd down. Biner slipping outside of Grossman and has a first down and more. A flag is down. Grossman was tackled by Jim Lachey.
Well, Grossman was, yeah, he certainly was, Dick. We both saw the same thing. Lachey, one of the great offensive tackles in the game, and that time he knew he was in trouble, apparently, because he reached out and just grabbed Grossman and held him. That Lachey scenario is an interesting one, how he ended up with the Redskins and how left San Diego.
Holding, offense, number 79, 10-yard penalty, second down.
As you look at Lachey, 79, will kind of give you the background on that. He was in San Diego, of course, a top draft pick, a #1 pick in '85. Watch him here as Grossman getting away, and he just kind of pulls him down from behind.
Well, there's a little skill to that. You notice he just caught the instep of the foot very lightly and tripped his man.
Lachey then unhappy. He wanted to be traded to a Midwestern team. Finally, they felt he wasn't building himself up upper body strength, even though he was a good player, wasn't a great player. Rypien just gets it away. Bayless putting the pressure on, and it's a catch for Monk and a first down at the 40 of San Diego. And Monk is now just 2 catches away from Charlie Taylor in the #3 spot. And then Lachey, well, we'll let you watch Monk here first.
Again, plenty of pass protection, so Art Monk is wide open in his zone defense. Again, the disciplines aren't really showing up. Leslie O'Neal, natural pass rusher, natural defensive lineman, is now playing linebacker, and part of the time he's in coverage. Now, there's a late hit here, right there, that should have been called. But the pass coverage O'Neal wasn't deep enough or sound enough to stop that play. Should have been 5 yards deeper in his drop.
Here's Monk, and he's just picking up a bundleful. Another catch for Monk, and 9 more yards. And that is his 7th. And he now ties that great receiver, Charlie Taylor. Charlie says, I've had the champagne ready. Hurry up and break my record. And the crowd now acknowledges that he has tied Taylor. 649.
Well, it takes a lot more than just speed to be a receiver. Monk is a complete player. Plus that, he's been able to handle injuries. He's shown the stamina to play week after week. Those are the things that make a truly great Hall of Fame athlete. I think he's a Hall of Fame player because he's going to keep going now and move up that ladder as far as receptions are concerned.
He's only 31. Yeah, he's got some years left.
He's got at least 2 years left, and he'll move up. And he's a sound player. And he's generally been injury-free with great stamina. He's excellent at the end of the season. So I can't help but think he'd be a Hall of Fame player.
The legal procedure was the call against Washington, so it'll be first down and 15. He's caught passes in 98 consecutive games. And most certainly will assure himself a place on the Washington Hall of Stars wall. Charlie Taylor's there. Jack Kent Cooke, the owner of the Redskins. All the famous Washingtonians who played in this area in all sports are honored here at RFK. Underneath, wide open is Clark. Gilbert on the corner runs him out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Well-established passing game. The mechanics are excellent. Rypien is dropping and having good timing. You'll see the ball get there just at the right moment, pulling away from a defender, catching the ball. Again, they're taking advantage of Bird's, in a sense, lack of speed because he has to work so hard to stay with the receiver that he loses him when he changes direction.
Clark needed only 71 yards today to reach 1,000 for the third time.
Chargers, Dick, are going to need a real break here to stay in the game.
Biner breaking into the secondary and a first down at the 14. Figaro finally got him to the turf.
Well, as a young team, as Dan Henning has, developing, you sort of go into not a stupor, but you become mesmerized by the play that develops here. And as far as the offense is concerned, they're doing better today, but they've given up somewhat defensively. They're sort of in a shambles right now and not really sure how to deal with it.
Underneath, and he was looking for Biner to go inside, and Biner did not. Fortunately for Washington, the ball lands at the feet of Gary Plummer. I want to get back to Jim Lachey. The scenario went this way, that he wanted to be traded. Finally, they sent him to the Raiders, to Lachey, for John Clay, an offensive tackle that they now fear will never play, and Napoleon McCallum, who is playing for the U.S. Navy and might be available next year. Then the Raiders traded Lachey here to Washington, and that was the Jay Schrader deal. And now he's gone into the weight room, and they feel he is a great tackle because he's doubled his strength.
He could be the best in the league. Hitting from Indianapolis is great, but
almost intercepted by Figueroa. Oh, that would have been, that has set us up. You were ready for an aria. I could just see you getting ready to sing a total aria.
Figueroa would have offered one if he'd have gotten all the way back.
He was on the way to Seville.
Well, this is what the Chargers need, is a play like this to stop the drive, to stop the momentum. That catch right there could have been the most significant of the season for the Chargers.
It's like trying to hit a fly.
But Lachey, back to Lachey, he is right now most likely the best athlete, the smoothest athlete to play that position.
At 290 pounds, 6'6", and smooth. 3rd and 10. And he throws it away. Good pressure from Bert Grossman. Okay, here comes Lohmiller. So the first drive of the second half for the Skins wound up in a 38-yard field goal by this man, and now he comes in for even a shorter chance. Dan Henning knows the book of Joe Gibbs, and he knows that Gibbs has a fake in there too. They know each other so well. Actually, the Charger offense mirrors that used here in Washington. 31 yards. And it's now a 1-point game, 14-13.
Joe Gibbs said he's given him everything he needs to win. And all of the support when things go poorly, Jack Kent Cooke is there to support him.
Jamie Holland is ripped down at the 28-yard line. Brian Davis, 34, the tackler. Former owner of the Los Angeles Kings and the LA Lakers. Jack Kent Cooke, one of Forbes' wealthiest men. Kansas City still with a sizable lead in Packer country. Minnesota up by 10. The Lions trying to stun the Bears. Seattle has moved in front of Cincinnati. 10-point Houston lead. Pittsburgh 7-0. They've been locked in 7-0 since the opening kickoff. And finally, Buffalo catches New Orleans. Philadelphia well in front of the Cowboys. Here it's 14-13.
Chargers desperately need a first down.
With that one possession, 3 and punt, and Tolliver throwing downfield incomplete as he was being hit. No flag, and was he in the grass? They might have whistled that dead back as the hit was made. Darrell Grant.
Good play fake, but you see the tremendous power coming up the field on Charles Mann, one of the best in not undersung, but one of the best pass rushers in the league. But he's so good that he's almost relentlessly good. Every play the same effort, every play the same kind of performance. He's their key defender at this point.
Charles C. Mann, the cement man. He puts a load on you. He wants to lead the league in sacks. Butts used his power to drive forward for a couple of yards when hit by Clarence Vaughn.
Clarence flew into that support level. He just flew into it to make the play. Now, San Diego is a little desperate now. I'm sure they're having trouble making their calls because things are sort of unraveling on them. They need something down the field completed to at least get field position, or they'll just get inundated by the Redskins offense, which even if it has to score field goals, it's not going to be stopped.
Both Miller and Walker are to the left. Tolliver incomplete through the hands of his tight end, Arthur Cox. Now, in fairness to Tolliver, his receivers have been a bit unkind since the first quarter. A lot of drops. And Washington cheers 3 and out again for San Diego.
I'm worried about this punt, Dick. The last time we got a punt from San Diego, it was a little inadequate. So we'll see what happens this time.
Joe Howard back to return. Illicek waits for Butts to get on the field. He moves in at a guard spot to block on this punt team. They better hurry. They didn't do it. I guess so. I saw 0 on the clock. Yep, there's the flag downfield at the 35-yard line, thrown for taking too much time.
That ball is not coming off his foot right, that's for sure. That was about a 30-yard punt.
He's had some great kicks this year, Illicek, and he's had a 5-yarder, a 12-yarder, and a 14-yard kick.
Delay of game, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
This is the tough part for Dan Henning in developing a team. They can come so close, look so good, but it's almost impossible to do it for 60 minutes.
You know the feeling well. The people forget your first year with the 49ers. What were you?
2-14.
2-14. Did you go through this?
I look just like Dan does right this minute. Everything milling through your mind. What can you do to try to bring it back? Now, it's still possible they're ahead, but the mistakes start to compound themselves at this stage of the game with all that inexperience on the field.
You wait for a reason to lose. Spiral low, but it does drive Howard back to the 27, and he's out to the 38-yard line. Tonight on NBC, a special presentation, the conclusion of A Mother's Courage, the Mary Thomas story. She's the mother of the great Piston guard Isaiah Thomas, followed by Ann Jillian, Sister Kate. NBC Sunday Night at the Movies, George Peppard, one of my favorite stars in Man Against the Mob, the Chinatown Murders. That's tonight only on NBC. And stay tuned after the game for the Budweiser NFL report with Bob and OJ and all the scores and highlights.
Look-alike, Dick. George Peppard, Dick Enberg. Look-alike.
Really? Last week you said I looked like Jonathan Winters. Wait a minute, you got to settle in on one. Kind of thinking of a matinee idol type. This is one, huh?
Yeah, it's a little sagey.
Rypien to the sidelines to Clark, and he's open again at the Charger 49. Another first down, 13 more yards for Clark. We're going to have to update that run toward 1,000 yards. These receivers for Rypien all going for 1,000 to become only the second team to sport a hat trick in that regard, and they're all over 900 and closing in on 1,000. Mike Tice now comes in at tight end.
Rypien's got the big arm to get this ball along the sidelines with some zip on it. And he's done it any number of times.
Draw play. Viner protecting the ball, gets about 4. Gary Plummer makes the tackle. 2nd and 6 now. Joe Campbell, 95, has replaced O'Neal. Viner again breaks a couple of tackles but only gets a yard. Gary Plummer finishes the job. So here it's 14-13, and let's check elsewhere in the NFL.
All right, Dick, after trailing at 1 point 10-0 at Riverfront, Seattle has rallied to take the lead. David Craig steps up into the pocket, finds Brian Blades. He goes untouched to complete the play. It covers 60 yards, and Seattle has the lead in the 3rd at Riverfront, 17-10. Back to Dick and Bill.
All right, Bob. Chuck Knox's team trying to be the big spoiler. Beat up on Buffalo and now trying to upset Cincinnati. Here's Art Monk. He's all alone now. A first down with his 650th career catch. He'll keep that ball. Catches today for Art Monk. More importantly for Washington, a first down as they're driving into field goal range, trailing 14-13. Here's Gerald Riggs on the run. First down. "14 yards for the former Atlanta Falcon, Pro Bowler 3 times.
Chargers need a break right now. They need some kind of a break. They're going to be, they're working up the field. They get a trap play up the middle, and what they're doing now is breaking tackles all over the field.
Briggs a load at 232 pounds, 2 pounds less than his quarterback. Briggs again. And they stop him at the 15. Billy Ray Smith from Arkansas. His dad played in this part of the woods with the Baltimore Colts for 14 years. A great player. Continues to follow, obviously, his son closely and root for him. And here's a real when you talk about a solid character on a team. Talking with him last night, I could just see you saying, boy, that's the kind of player I'd like to have had with the 49ers.
You need some of those kinds of men on a team. They're dedicated, they're driven to play the game of football, conscientious about everything they do, and that rubs off. That's a big part of it.
Going toward the end zone, incomplete to Clark. Elvis Patterson got a hand in just in time to deny 6. Well-timed pattern. 3rd and 9.
The ball was just underthrown slightly, but it was really thrown a little bit late because there wasn't the room to maneuver to catch it. But that's one of the few passes defended by the Chargers since the first quarter.
Patterson, former Giant, Toast. Bill Parcells gave him that nickname. He got burned so often. Doesn't mind the nickname. Big play, 3rd and 9.
It's like a blitz front. Looks like they're all going to come. They're going to take a chance on it. Here they come.
The throw hit it. Oh, Elvis Patterson had it thrown right to him and seemed to jump too soon. And instead of an interception to deny a score, here comes the field goal unit, and Lohmeyer will go for the lead.
We've seen 2 situations where the ball should have been caught. A blitz right up the middle, an unblocked man right down the throat. The ball is thrown sort of recklessly, and there's the interception. Now that's going to be the difference. If you can't get those kind of things done, you can't get anything done. That was
33-yard field goal for the lead, and Washington is in front. 16-14 as Lohmiller hits his 3rd of the 3rd quarter. Rypien not happy. He's lucky they got the 3. 95 of the nation's top 10 teams on New Year's Day here on NBC. As with a 16-14 lead, here comes Jamie Holland for the San Diego Chargers. And he's corralled at the 27. Saturday and Sunday NFL action on NBC. Bob Costas and O.J. Simpson on Saturday at 3:30. We have the late game of the doubleheader, Denver Broncos and the Phoenix Cardinals. And the Broncos, depending on this weekend, either will be looking ahead to a full home field advantage or fighting for that. Houston, Cincinnati, most of you will see that as the early game in the doubleheader on Sunday. The late game, Buffalo and San Francisco, the Jets and the Rams. Bill and I will be out in familiar territory, Candlestick Park, for the Bills and the Niners. Billy Joe Tolliver. Marion Butts. The big fullback gets about 5. In this quarter, the Redskins have run 23 plays, and the Chargers 6. No first downs for Dan Henning. 3 and out. 7 total yards, and the lead of 14-0 has now been lost, and Washington's in front 16-14.
Just desperately need a first down just for their state of mind, their peace of mind. The defensive unit from the Chargers is going to have to get some break here, some heat off of them, because each time in the second half they've had to go in and take the ball defensively around midfield, which is a brutal job.
Tolliver eluding the rush and then throwing incomplete. Tolliver is 0 for 5 in this 3rd quarter and looks at 3rd down 5 in the final minute plus of the 3rd period. He goes to McEwen, the former Redskin. He's close to a first down at the 37-yard line. Dan Henning's team out like a rocket in the first quarter. The touchdown passes, Tolliver to Miller and Tolliver to Walker. And then Joe Gibbs steadily eroding at that lead as he searches for his 100th career win in 9 seasons here in Washington.
Well, the play calling now is most difficult for the Chargers. I assume that Ted Tolliver is handling that part of it so tough because things are starting to fall apart all over the field.
First down play, and Butts, they're waiting for him. Charles Mann and Neil Olkowitz, veteran defenders. 50 seconds remaining in the 3rd. Henning was a quarterback in his playing days at William and Mary. This is the first year of a 5-year contract. Not been easy, not only the record, but he's had some problems with the press out in San Diego. Remember those pictures, all the press up on the hill, had to peek over. He locked them out. That's kind of tough to do.
Well, the San Diego press is conditioned to frustration in recent years since the Dan Fouts era, and they don't have a lot of patience at this point.
The flag down. Tolliver may have a free play here. Back inside goes Walker and ducks in under the punch defensively.
Off the coast of Canada.
Friday Island.
Friday Island, building a home. He left a phone number, and he said the phone is nailed to a tree.
He said, let it ring for as long as you want, because it takes me a while to get there. The phone is nailed to a tree.
So Don and his wife, who are not of the younger set at this point in life, are building a home, the two of them, on this island, Friday Island, off Canada.
In the wilderness.
In the wilderness.
And that is the end of the third quarter. Well, we don't have to run all the way to the tree to call, but we'll be with you in a moment. First half with a touchdown bomb to Ricky Sanders, 3 field goals in the third, and it's a 16-14 advantage for the Skins. First down, San Diego, midfield, Billy Joe Tolliver. Throwing that one to somebody over there, and
well, the heat's on Billy Joe right now. He had a receiver, his tight end open down the middle, but he just winged that one out of there. He's avoiding the interception and the big turnaround, and that, I suppose, is helpful. But right now, that time he just threw the ball away prematurely.
Henning didn't know he was the primary receiver. A little stunned by all that.
Jim McMahon, who's, I'm sure, having a tough time.
Second and 10 from the San Diego 47. Darren Nelson in motion. The throw is to Nelson. Short yardage to the Washington 48. Greg Minuski made the tackle.
Well, Nelson's come to the team as a third down football player. Darren, who I worked with at Stanford, recruited him out of high school. He was a great high school player, a top student, and he really put Stanford on the map when he played for the Cardinal. And at this point in the later stages of his career, a play or 2 or 3, maybe 4 a game on third down, he can make the difference. And that's what they have him at this point for, but right now they're just not able to get him the ball.
Don't know what this delay is for. Third down and 5. We talked about Don Coryell. They're going to have another outstanding coach out there in San Diego, former Charger head man and father of the passing game for so many coaches. They're going to have an honor.
After further review, play stands, third down.
Night in February in San Diego for Sid Gilman, a man that influenced you as well.
Well, Sid was the true master of contemporary football, all phases of it, but primarily the passing game. He's made a big difference to the game.
Third and a long 5 for Tolliver. Right through the hands again of a receiver, Anthony Miller. Maybe he's too strong. Well, suddenly the Chargers have the dropsy, and it's been contagious. Everybody having difficulty. Maybe the weather, they're not used to the chill.
Well, that's the kind of pass that has to be thrown many, many times in practice. A crossing receiver, you see Miller right in the middle of the screen now, and Miller is sort of running half speed, and quarterback doesn't know, Tolliver doesn't know which side of him to throw the ball. So they have to be much more decisive when they see a zone defense. By and large, you sprint and stop. You pivot to a stop, and the ball is then thrown to you. So that, again, is the continuity that must be developed with this team, and I assume it'll take another year or 2.
Illicek, another real short kick. Takes a little bounce for San Diego and goes out of bounds near the 20-yard line. 2 touchdowns by San Diego, and with a lead of 16-14, plenty of time, 14 minutes to go. Rypien gives to Biner, and now's the time where that running game has to work for you. Have a lead, try to keep possession, drive downfield, get some more. Plummer and Lee Williams in on that tackle.
Well, Joe Gibbs is the master at this point in the game itself of managing his ball club during the contest as to what to do strategically. In this case, use the clock, run the ball, call certain passes that will minimize interception possibilities. Those kinds of things only come with experience. and looking for his 100th win, 100th victory. Joe Gibbs now has become the master of managing his team during the game.
Rypien to Monk. Another nice catch out to the 26-yard line. Elvis Patterson on the coverage. Joe Gibbs, when we told you earlier, when he described the Dallas loss 13-3 as the low point forever, he didn't just sit on it. He made some drastic changes.
Well, he just decided to revert back to what they'd done previously, and that is to work hard in practice. At some point with a veteran team, you like to ease up mid-season so that they're healthy each week. But the Redskins definitely lost their edge and were humiliated by Dallas at home.
Don Warren, no flag, as Martin Bayless was hogging them hard, and the Redskins will have to give it up.
You know, Dick, in talking with Joe Gibbs, he said we had to go back to hard work, and if a player was too old, they had to find out. If they couldn't work hard in practice, maybe they shouldn't be playing. But everybody responded, as you assume they would, with his direction.
Mojanko handled a low snap nicely. Here's Phil McConkey to the 39-yard line with 12:23 remaining in the fourth quarter. He's going to root out something for us for Christmas. Butts hitting the backfield again. Charles Mann zeroing in on Marion Butts and drops him for a loss of a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Andy Parker, the tight end, tried to handle Mann, and Mann was just too quick. He exploded before the Charger offensive line could even get on track.
The first 2 drives of the game for Dan Henning resulted in the 2 touchdowns. And since that time, 7 more attempts, and they haven't even accumulated as many yards as in those first 2.
Well, they're going to have to get half fortunate here and get a big play down the field. They've got good field position.
From the 39. There's a man open, Miller, and a first down at the Washington 46.
Got a flag, Dick.
And it's back in San Diego territory, holding Chargers. Well, you almost don't have to say it. You look at Henning, and it's part of why some teams
Holding,
have to rebuild.
74 on the offense, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Brett Miller, the right tackle.
Well, I assume Miller had Charles Mann to deal with at that point.
Let's go back to when did it turn around for you? Was there a game or a time or a, when does it finally come together and you turn lose into win?
Well, late in the 2nd year, we won 3 games against good opposition that made the difference, but it takes that long.
Screen as they invited Charles Mann in and got it to Darren Nelson, and he scoots out to the 46-yard line. Good play. That got the 10 back from the penalty, plus about 7 more. Monusky and Mayhew made the hit.
Well, the Chargers are still in the ball game if they can just hit a couple of plays. Now, here's Darren Nelson. Now, he's not concerned about the man behind him. A lot of people would be looking back, but he uses his speed to clear himself up the field. Critical play in the game. Right now, they're going to have to take the ball. Without a first down here, the clock's going to start really working against them.
3rd down, 2.5. Underneath, and that'll be the first down. Just enough. Miller making the catch right on the 50-yard line.
Yeah, just a little softer touch on that ball made it catchable, because that is in traffic. To get those 3 yards, a receiver surrounded has to concentrate.
Anthony Miller has a half dozen catches today and 109 yards.
Well, I'm looking myself at this point for a play pass to go down the field with. The last 2 or 3 runs they've attempted on first down have gotten them nothing. So at this point, you'd assume he's going to go down the field with something.
Miller to the left. Then they throw back to Butts underneath. And a good job defensively. When it appeared that the blue shirts outnumbered the whites, Butts gets only a couple. Fred Stokes, number 60, in on the stop.
It was an attempted screen, but the blocking in the screen just wasn't quick enough to handle the defense. An excellent job defensively of getting underneath the blocker. Joe Howard came out as a tackle to make a play, but we got underneath it and made the stop. It looked like it might go for something. But again, he's going to have to go down the field pretty quickly.
See the time remaining in the fourth quarter. The Skins lead 16-14. That was the first reception for the fullback Butts. Monty Coleman coming in on a blitz, and Tolliver got rid of it. McEwen, the closest San Diego player, and Tolliver, that rush from the veteran Monty Coleman, who's so outstanding as a linebacker against the pass, both in coverage and on the blitz, and he unloaded.
Well, Coleman came right off of this edge. The guard trying to come out and get him couldn't get there quickly enough. Consequently, Tolliver had to just get rid of the ball. Here it comes. People aren't getting outside on it. So the ball had to be thrown before anybody was ready.
Third down and 7 for San Diego. They made it a game. And they pull the upset. They're underdogs by 10 points. Wide open. What a catch by Nelson. 30, 25. What a move. And he's inside the 20 into the 15-yard line. Oh, my. Darren Nelson. Ball come back to Washington. Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh. First down, San Diego at the Skins 15. Marion Butts bowling his way for 5. At the 10-yard line, 2nd and 5. Butts breaks a tackle, and he has a touchdown. Marion Butts. He gets that 250 pounds going, and top 2 stop. His 9th score of the year.
They've found somebody in Butts. That power, especially in the later stages of the game. The players don't feel fatigued, but they are. Their reactions, their responses aren't as quick, and that power can make a difference, much like Okoye does it with the Kansas City.
Well, you talk about strength up the middle in sports, and here in football, the middle for San Diego's offense, rookie center Courtney Hall, rookie quarterback Billy Joe Tolliver, rookie fullback Marion Butts. And they've got the Chargers in the lead, and Chris Barr adds the extra point. It's 21-16, and the pressure goes to the Redskins. Here's the kick by Barr to the 10. Howard, who's had some good returns today, and the season squirts out. He's at the 50 and brought down at the 39-yard line. What a return by Joe Howard. Elvis Patterson may have saved a touchdown, caught him from behind.
We can't show the entire blocking pattern, but the special team returns for the Redskins are devastating the Chargers. You see the blocking all the way through. People are getting out of position because blockers are threatening them, and a man like Howard with that speed is just going to split people.
Rypien. And he wisely slides out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Well, it was Howard who had a 59-yard kickoff return in the first half, called back on a penalty. He had a punt return of 45 yards in the second quarter that eventually led to a touchdown, field position at least. And now a 50-yard kickoff return to spark the Redskins at a time where they needed it. Relinquish the lead and then come right back with a big kick return.
You know, Dick, the predictions we had made about the Super Bowl, and I mentioned fully dimensional teams. Denver, the 49ers, this is a problem with the Chargers. They're playing very well in one phase of the game and very poorly in another, and it's basically because of a young team that's just being put together and orchestrated.
Not the depth, and there goes Rypien, long for Clark. Incomplete. Martin Bayless came over to help out Vincie Glenn, and their timing was perfect. They arrived as the ball did.
Bayless played a beautiful free safety on that play. He just timed that ball coming down. Watch him just time it, time it, time it. Now what? Right on the money. Helmet right where the ball would have been absorbed. Beautiful job. Critical time now. This is, again, the entire season, in a sense, for San Diego, riding on this 3 or 4 yard play.
Bayless came to San Diego from the Redskins, from Buffalo, for Wayne Davis. Now Wayne Davis is playing with the Redskins. 3rd and 4. Monk can't get that one, as Rypien hurrying with pressure from Vincey Glenn was coming up the middle on him. So it's 4th down and 4. What does Joe Gibbs do? Crowd will help him.
Well, the full blitz that time, the full blitz forced the pass to be thrown early. Couldn't have been thrown accurately under those conditions. Now we're down to a 4th down. Again, so much of the season rides for both of these clubs on this one play. All that work in training camp, all that preparation.
4th and 4, pressure on. Rypien going for Clark. He's open. Touchdown. With his 8th touchdown of the season. 33 yards from Rypien on 4th down and 4. And now Lohmiller to try the point after. Redskins 23, Chargers 21. And with the thought they'd be singing them a lot today, but the Chargers have played Washington tough and made this a most interesting game. Clark offered the final punctuation mark, but it was Joe Howard's kickoff return that set it up.
Straight up the field to the corner. Again, a blitz. Great job by Rypien throwing that ball to a spot. He knew there wouldn't be a free safety back there. He threw it up, and Clark just turned and ran for it.
Now the kickoff, Anthony Miller and Jamie Holland. They've kicked to Holland every time, understandably. Only to the 15-yard line, and that should be a penalty. Coming down late was Jimmy Johnson. He was already down, and Johnson slammed him. We'll see if there's a flag.
Rypien nailed, knocked down as he threw the ball, but he's got his 6 points. That was a great job. Sometimes a quarterback, all the attention's on a receiver, and you look back and see what happens to a quarterback just as the ball's thrown. Chargers went to the blitz one too many times, left that middle open. Rypien just threw to a spot. Clark went and got the ball.
Well, Clark is over 1,000. Monk must be very close. And Sanders has 900 plus. Now the crowd going to make it tough on Tolliver. And there is the problem. They fumble the ball, and Washington recovers. Charles Mann. And the Skins have it at the Charger 13-yard line.
Tough to win in Washington, D.C. with a rookie quarterback. It looks as though the exchange was bad, with Tolliver pulling out just a little early, and they dropped the ball, and under that tremendous pressure of the noise from the crowd, that can really affect your thought processes.
Ernest Biner. And he's down to the 5-yard line. Good yardage. You think about the big plays, and you go back even to the early field goals in this half. On both field goals by Washington, Figueroa had an interception right in his midst. They got a field goal. They dived deep. And again, it was this time Elvis Patterson had an easy interception, couldn't handle it. They get another field goal. And now the big turnover. San Diego played error-free until this point. And now down 23-21. The Redskins trying to go up by more than a touchdown. And it's Biner. Stopped about at the 3-yard line. Now can start really thinking more positively about that 100th win. He is one of the top coaches in the game, no question.
Well, at this point, he's probably the most complete when it comes to all phases of the game, along with Don Shula. I'm sure there are many others right close, but Joe Gibbs has personified the NFL in this last decade.
Rypien backs off, takes another look at that Charger defense. Lets the clock run down. Still 10 seconds on the 45-second clock. And gives to Riggs. And he is hit at about the 2-yard line.
It's so tough when you have part of a team, as the Chargers feel at this time. Part of a team. Individual players that are up to it. You take a Billy Ray Smith, that kind of person who's got that great competitive zeal to him, and O'Neal and some of these others, Williams, some great players, but not a complete team. So things sooner or later begin to break down. In this game, basically, it's been the kick and punt returns of the Redskins that's made the difference.
All on the 1-yard line. 2nd and goal. 4 tight ends. And Riggs, touchdown. Is down. Let's see. It's in the backfield of Washington. And it's holding Washington. So no score. They'll have to go at it again. And with 10 yards, it'll be 2nd and 11. 2nd and goal from the 11.
Holding. Offense, number 53. 2nd down.
Veteran center Jeff Bostic. He's the last of the Hogs with all the injuries. He now has McKenzie, Lachey, Schlereth, and Simmons. Doesn't have the Grimms and Mays and Jacobys with him, with the injury toll mounting early this year.
That's a tough call down there. Anything can happen with all those bodies being knocked around. Rarely do you call holding at that point on the field. It's so difficult to find. It had to have been the referee looking at Bostic and catching him winging someone.
So 2nd and goal from the 11. It's Biner. A little draw, and he gets to inside the 5-yard line. Billy Ray Smith down low to make the tackle. 3rd and goal from the 4.
The Chargers are still in it. 3 points won't destroy them. They've got their chance. They'll have to score a touchdown.
A touchdown would make it very difficult as the clock continues to work against San Diego now. 4:37. Interesting call here. What do you think? 4 yards.
Most likely some kind of a bootleg coming back to the outside.
He's got all 3 wide receivers lined up on the left. Sanders, Monk, and far out is Clark. With Biner in the backfield, and Sanders in motion, and Lee Williams, or whomever it was that jumped off, might have been Leslie O'Neal, just pointed right on the shoulder pad of the Redskin that moved too soon, and that'll be 3rd and goal from the 9.
Led Simmons set back. It was obviously a pass.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
The Redskins have been great at this point on the field to run what you'd a so-called pick play, in which a man trying to cover will get knocked off his receiver and there'll be someone open. Now they're famous for this. They do a beautiful job of it, and let's see if we can find it.
This time the alignment has Warren, the tight end, right, with Sanders and Monk both to the right, Clark to the left. The throw for Clark. He's got it, but he's hit immediately at the 5-yard line. Good defensive play by the Chargers. Lohmiller hits it anyway, right at George Allen, the coach that used to be the winningest. Gibb has far surpassed Allen's marks here. 28 yards officially. And it's now 26-21. 3:22 left, and they have 2 timeouts. And this time Miller will get a chance to return. Boy, has he got speed. Whew. He finished just a hair behind Darrell Green for the NFL's fastest man that you saw on NBC back in August. Some late looks. A final in Minnesota has won. Detroit apparently is going to beat the Bears. Cincinnati has rallied to tie Seattle. Houston by only 3 now. The Bucks are rallying. Pittsburgh wins 13-0 over the Jets. New Orleans back in front of Buffalo, and Philadelphia maintaining 10. Late games underway. There they are. Cleveland, Indy, Giants set Denver, Phoenix, and the Raiders. Here this game still in doubt with 3:13 to go. San Diego and Tolliver begin at the 30. Complete to Miller, who caught that one sitting down. 47-yard line of San Diego. 2.5 minutes to go. 5-point lead Washington. Tolliver almost intercepted, and a flag goes down. Todd Bowles darting in front of the intended target, Anthony Allen.
Illegal use of hands. Number 91, defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Greg Minuski, linebacker.
Here's the holding part of it right here. You'll see him come up the field, and he's going to attempt to, he's got a face mask. That's what it is. Just reached over and grabbed the face mask unnecessarily.
48-yard line of Washington, first down. 2:26 left. Good protection. And the throw to Darren Nelson. He had the big catch on the last touchdown drive and is inside the Skins' 40-yard line. Jack Trudeau has hit Andre Rison 51 yards, and Indianapolis has the early lead against staggering Cleveland 7-0 in the first in that game. Still working on Charles Mann, and he's telling us that he's all muscle and not enough fat. He says, unlike most of it, he wants to put on some pounds. He said every year he dwindles down from 270 to 255. He wants to be able to keep his weight up. He said everything hurts. I only have muscle and bone. 2nd and 1. 2 minutes to go. 5-point game. Tolliver down the middle and caught. How in the world did he catch it? He was being interfered with, and Miller comes up with it anyway.
That was beautifully thrown ball. It just got there an instant late, but there was interference, no question about it. Blitz coming.
And incomplete, the throw intended for Anthony Allen as Tolliver had to unload quickly. They trail by 5. Draw play to Nelson. That didn't fool the Redskins.
Well, 2 downs to make a touchdown. These are the toughest calls because nothing really has been established other than they've got Miller to catch it.
And Joe Gibbs defensively now trying to come up with 2 big plays, stop the Chargers, win this game, his 100th career win here in Washington.
And the Chargers trying to establish themselves as a viable NFL competitor.
The throw is to Wayne Walker, tackled inside the 10. 4th down. Call it 2.5 for a first down. 6 yards for what could be a winning touchdown. Anthony Miller to the left, Walker to the right. Nelson in the backfield with that man, Anthony Allen. Tolliver, incomplete. They went for the touchdown, and Walker couldn't get it. Broken up by Martin Mayhew. Well, they went for it all. It's been that kind of year. Right on the doorstep of so many wins have the Chargers been. Linebacker Gary Plummer said it's like playing in a Rod Serling Twilight Zone. It feel like him in a cast of 45, a horror show.
Week after week, they've been close and haven't done it. Week after week. Now, that was the logical play to expect for the Redskins. They were really tight. They blitzed up inside, tight man-to-man coverage, and it was just thrown a little bit high. But again, they didn't have a physical receiver out there to catch it, so consequently, when they went for the ball, they couldn't really physically handle it.
And now with all the timeouts spent by San Diego, Mark Rypien has to only kneel down twice, and this game is over. There's one, and they'll chew up 45 seconds with that.
Well, a great win for Joe Gibbs. I personally congratulate him. What a great job they've done there developing that franchise without a lot of draft choices. Bobby Beathard making key personnel moves. Joe Gibbs and his staff, some wonderful coaches working with him, putting this together to one of the dynasties in the league today.
He said it's been like an emotional marathon coaching in this league. He said with the success we've had, it's actually become tougher since we've won Super Bowls because the expectations are so high in this city, and some have thought, well, maybe he was running out of emotional fuel and that he might retire, but he's denied all of those rumors you've heard of the past week. And today, in just his 9th year in Washington, the Redskins have earned their 100th win against a team that gave them a good go. Billy Joe Tolliver and the San Diego Chargers once again very much in a game, only to lose at the end, this by just 5 points. And setting himself as the number 3 receiver all time in NFL history, our Budweiser MVP is Art Monk, who had a great game today for the Redskins. Big catches when they needed them. That's been his story. Neil Olkowitz in his final home game. You know, he's the kind of player that every team needs. Undersized, doesn't have great speed, tough, loves that helmet on, and it's going to be tough for him to hang it up today. There he is, Art Monk, our Budweiser MVP. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the most valuable players selected in today's games. Now the sellout cheers a